in your responses to FAQ, use what we call the friend filter. That means respond to that question as if you were speaking to a friend. Use a casual but professional tone, but this is not a place for corporate-y or stiff feeling jargon. Kelsey Toner here from Guest Focus. Welcome back to our series on creating tour descriptions that sell. We are almost done, but we have yet to cover an essential component. It is, drum roll please, frequently asked questions. Now, the million-dollar question, should we have an FAQ section on every single one of our tour pages? The answer is yes. Resoundingly, overwhelmingly, yes. Here is why. It is a common practice to have the FAQ section on its own dedicated part of the website. That is okay to continue to do. It is frequently visited. It's a great place that people go to. But as you've heard me say, once somebody gets to our tour description page, we don't want them going anywhere else. All we want them focused on is getting them so they feel comfortable clicking the book now, buy tickets, reserve, whatever your call to action is. And if you do not have a frequently asked questions area, you are missing out on one of the biggest opportunities that you have with this element, which is not to answer the most frequently asked questions. It's a bit deceiving. What you want to do is overcome objections. In fact, you want to obliterate objections. Let's talk about how to do that. So firstly, you need to figure out what your most common objections are. Now, if you've been in business for a little while, you've had some interaction with customers, and you've followed your online reviews, you will probably have a bit of an intuitive sense of some of the most common concerns, hesitations, and objections. Now, in our coaching program, we actually walk you through a guest deep dive where one of the questions that we explicitly asked our customers, whether this is in an interview, through research online, or just straight up giving them a survey. Check out this question. If you've joined us for a water-based tour in Vancouver previously, what was your biggest concern or hesitation before booking? This is a super powerful question for teasing out some objections. And we can look for patterns for the ones that are most repeated. Let's have a quick look at some of these. I thought it might be too rough for my parents, but it was perfect. This was for one of their Zodiac tours. We're local and we were looking for a fun tour, but we thought that it would be too touristy. Okay, this is something we could overcome potentially in our FAQ section. Someone there, price, motion sickness. Well, weather kept coming up over and over again. How to dress for the weather. I hesitated to book thinking it wasn't going to be that exciting. People were maybe nervous that it'll be a bit too boring or a bit too tame if I go on one of these group water tours. Weather, safety, water conditions. I was worried about being seasick, but it didn't end up happening. What's great with a guest deep dive like this is we can use these quotes in testimonials and social proof and potentially even in our FAQ section. Biggest concern was that no one in my party had ever kayaked before. Interesting. So through this guest deep dive, we've come up with a list of some of the biggest reasons people aren't booking. Once you've come up with your list of hesitations, concerns, and objections that people may have, it's time to give no nonsense but compelling answers to help put their mind at ease. Here are some recommendations. When you format the question, keep it very short and brief and punchy. We don't want long questions in an FAQ. Your FAQ answers should be as short as possible. If you can answer in just a few words or one sentence, great. If you do require a little more time, that is okay. But as a general rule of thumb, shorter is better. Let's have a look at how we implemented this on the Vancouver Water Adventures website. Okay, starting at the top of their page, the first thing that you'll notice is the FAQ section is actually down quite low. This is something that's okay to put towards the bottom of the page. All of that social proof, the tour overviews, the features, the benefits, all of those are more important than these FAQs. But here is a beautiful implementation. Note the short questions. Note this accordion style FAQ. This is going to help keep your web page from being too long, and it's a really great experience on a mobile phone. So instead of having all of the answers on display, users can click with their finger on a mobile phone on the question that they have, or click with their mouse, and it will bring up the answer. Have a look. We started with some of the biggest concerns that we saw in the guest deep dive. Will I get wet on this Zodiac tour? Do you provide gear to keep us dry? We have cozy, waterproof, full-length cruiser suits that are optional for all our guests. Not sure that you'll need it? No worries. Ask the captain to bring it for you just in case. wow, did we ever overcome and obliterate that particular concern? Are the zodiacs comfortable? What if it's raining? Will it be wavy or rough on the water? Check out how we responded. The Granite Falls Boat Tour offers the smoothest ride of all our tours. Our zodiacs are extremely safe and stable vessels, and the most of the tour takes place in protected harbors and waterways. Man, oh man, if I had that concern coming in before clicking my nice floating book now button over here, the team has done a great job here at overcoming that particular objection. So you might be wondering, is there a best practice when it comes to number of questions? Here, we are pretty flexible. We are comfortable having longer FAQs so long as that information is useful to the buyers. Now, if you want to have a shorter list, then we recommend that your FAQ on the sales page be related to the most important objections, being things that are preventing people from booking versus things that might be nice to know after they've made the booking. That's a pretty clear delineator. So questions like, well, what time should I show up before my tour? Is there anything I need to bring? Where could I find parking? Those questions may be able to be answered in your general FAQ, or perhaps, a best practice, by the way, is to send that over with their confirmation. You're going to be answering those questions at a later stage. But if you want to include them right here on this tour page, our take on it is that this FAQ section is for those who are really going deep. They want all the details. And so if you use that nice accordion style, you can keep your webpage from being too long and still provide that information to those that are looking for it. But that's a little guideline if you want an answer. Let's have a look at a couple more examples. Here are some frequently asked questions that are great for a food tour. What food will we be tasting? Is there alcohol served during the tour? What if I have allergies or dietary restrictions? We see that all the time with food and beverage tours. How much food is served on the tour? What if it rains? How much walking is involved? What if I am hard of hearing? Parking seems to always come up. It's a great idea to include parking in the FAQ along with some recommendations, easily clickable links. So if someone's got this on their phone, they can quickly click and see where they can park or see where the meeting spot is. Again, I would cover your cancellation policy in the FAQ. 100% that is recommended. I thought local Toronto food tours did a really great job here. How much walking is involved? Is it a fast-paced tour? These aren't necessarily the most commonly asked questions, but these are concerns people have. What is your cancellation policy? What about children? Is the tour wheelchair or baby stroller accessible? Once again, those dietary restrictions or allergies. I think these questions, the responses could be a little bit shorter because we're asking people to burn a lot of calories to read this. Now, we sometimes encounter resistance from business owners who don't want to address certain things in their FAQs. Maybe they're just some of the potentially negative sides of their tour, the fact that it's really hot or rainy or busy. Please, as much as possible, be direct and honest with your customers. Remember, you are setting expectations, and we want people to pre-qualify. If it's just a fact that people get wet on your tour, then make sure people know that they're going to get wet before they sign up and show up for that tour. Your customers will appreciate your honesty, and it helps build trust and show that you have that integrity. In your responses to FAQ, use what we call the friend filter. That means respond to that question as if you were speaking to a friend. Use a casual but professional tone, but this is not a place for corporate-y or stiff-feeling jargon. We want to humanize your brand, and if you need to record the way that you would respond to that particular concern or objection, that is a pretty good tactic for getting the type of language that you want in these FAQs. Yes, it is okay to repeat questions and answers across multiple tours if it's relevant to that purchasing decision. It is okay to have a general FAQ page because keep in mind, we're using the FAQ section on your sales pages in a very specific way. The last metaphor or image I want to leave you with is something I got from a business mentor of mine. He said, overcoming objections in the sales process is extremely important. That nagging concern can prevent people from moving forward. And it's essential that you destroy that concern. So he gave me the image of the Death Star from Star Wars coming in. It's got that super powerful planet destroying laser, and you focus that planet destroying laser on each objection one by one, and you obliterate it. You destroy it. You show evidence. You prove to that potential customer that that is not something to worry about. I pulled a couple examples from around the web where companies did a super job of obliterating an objection. Let's take a look. This is an example drawn from Backroads Tours FAQs. They do multi-day bike tours, and this is a big concern that their potential customers have. What if I don't like riding my bike in groups? On your tour, you will have extra van support the whole time, so you can spend your time enjoying your trip your way. With an extra support vehicle, you'll be able to enjoy those unscripted moments that make active travel so rewarding and not be left waiting around. Enjoy any amount of activity you like at your own pace, always with the option to change your mind as your day unfolds. Notice how they address this concern head on and say, no, you're not going to be riding in groups the whole day. And in fact, on one of our group tours, because you've got this extra van support, it's going to be even better than riding alone. You've got more options. You can go further. Here's another example from the Galapagos, where it is very competitive between different vessels to get tourists to get out and experience those unbelievable islands. The big question boils down to guides. Are the guides going to be good? Are they educated? Are they qualified? So I loved this response from a company down in the Galapagos. How do I know your guides are qualified? The Galapagos National Park recognizes 3 categories of guide. Here at Galapagos Adventures Inc., we know the guide makes all the difference. That's why we only work with Class 3 guides with at least 10 years industry experience. Class 3 guides must have a degree in biology, speak 2 additional languages in addition to Spanish, and we're proud that all our guides receive an average guest satisfaction score of 9.8 out of 10. Holy Death Star obliteration. Not only did they take the time to empathize with that particular concern, hey, we get it, the guide makes all the difference, but they then provided 3 concrete pieces of evidence, the way that they choose their guides and why their guides are better than any others that you'll find out there. Excellent, excellent job. Totally overcoming that huge concern of their potential customers. Look, if you would like some help building an FAQ, if you would like some assistance with this whole tour description thing, make sure you've grabbed our tour description workbook. It accompanies this video series. If you haven't got it yet, head over to guestfocus.com/tour descriptions. It's normally reserved for our coaching members, but you know what? You're here and I like the cut of your jib, so we're gonna hook you up with it absolutely free of charge. If you enjoyed this video, got some value from it, please consider sending it to another tour or activity business owner. Shoot it over by email, on social media, share it. It would mean a lot to us. We put a lot of work into building this methodology, into showcasing our excellent tour operators who are just crushing it in our program and around the world. If you're catching us here on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and hit that notifications bell. It's such a pleasure having you here, and we'll see you in the next video.